CSS now has if conditions. It's true and it's really amazing. I think it's at the beginning and it's going to unlock a lot of use cases. It's not something you want to use all over the place, especially not now because it's only supported on Chromium browsers. I'll cut right to the chase and show you a demo. I'm running Chrome 138 stable at the moment. I'm using VS Code with prettier disabled because the syntax is quite new. And bear with the editor, it says this is not working, this is new syntax, but it actually does work. And while it doesn't work on all browsers, the rest of your CSS will not break. Are you ready? Let's dive in. I have this basic Vite project here with a div that's styled to be a flexbox with a gap of 10, and I have a div class box and another div class box, and they both contain a paragraph with a cat and a dog. Nothing special, you can disregard the attributes for now, and I'm gonna start by setting a background color that actually uses an if condition. So of course, if you do background color red, you get red, but what if you want to make it conditional? And I'm gonna write the syntax in a way that looks nice from the beginning. So I'm gonna write if, press enter, and here we're gonna have condition 1, value 1, we can have condition 2, value 2, and then we can also have an else condition, which is really amazing. There's at the moment 3 ways to base an if condition, but I'm gonna start with the media. So we can use a media query. For example, the width of the viewport. If the width of the viewport is less than 800 pixels, so this is condition 1, and now the value 1 will be, for example, blue. And then you need to end with a semicolon. And then you can technically provide another condition, maybe even a third one. And then if you want, you can also provide an else. I'm only gonna go for the else now. Else, it's gonna be green. Semicolon, save. So it's saying that nothing works. It's not recognizing the syntax, but yeah, this is a new syntax, save, and it's now blue because the viewport width, as you can see, is 719, that's less than 800, but the moment I go above 800, it becomes green. That's pretty cool because you can now do these things inline instead of having to write a media query. Again, you don't want to rewrite all of your code. This is relatively new. It only works on Chromium browsers, and you need to give it some time for users to upgrade the browsers. But it's really cool. I think it's a very big setting stone for CSS. Now, this is how it would look like if you, for example, use Prettier at the moment, or you just don't write on multiple lines. I think it's very hard to read, so it's always best to write if, and then you have condition 1, colon, value 1, then you have the else condition, the value 2, and then you close the parentheses on a new line. Now, let's take a look what happens on Safari. So if I open a browser that doesn't support it, we don't get any background color, but what's important is that the rest of your CSS is not breaking. So this whole line, this is a whole, because of the parentheses, this whole thing is seen as one declaration value, which is great because you can still support Safari, for example, by saying background color red, let's say background color green, like the else condition, and then on Safari you will get green, and you will still have the if condition on browsers that support it. This is kind of the reason behind the syntax, that it shouldn't break all of your CSS file. It should only break the current declaration if the browser doesn't recognize it. Goodbye Safari. And now we're going to continue with something actually not really related to if conditions, but we're going to use it later on. If you look at the index.html, I've given data-size equals 150. This is a random attribute. We start with data because it's userland. It's not going to be used by the browser. And now I can say width. It's going to be attr, so the attribute function. So this is a relatively new function that allows you to read attribute values. I'm going to say data-size, but you have to provide the type of it, and the type is pixels. And now we will have both of them having a width of 150 pixels. Just going to quickly change the color to white to make it readable. You can do the same for the height, of course. Attribute data-size px. Now we have squares, and if you edit this, of course it's going to work because it's amazing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But turns out the attribute function is even more powerful. So take a look, because we have here data-category cats, data category dogs, and now I can define a custom property that's going to be category, and we're going to read this attribute. So we're going to use the attr function to read the data-category. but the type of it is not something the browser understands. So we're gonna use the new type function and then custom identifier with a dash in between, custom ident. Yeah, I know, we now have TypeScript in CSS. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so now we have this slash dash dash category. I think at the moment you cannot really read it. I do think that the future version of Chrome DevTools will show the value, but for now we can select this one with $0. We now have it, and then I can write get computed style $0, and that's going to give us all the computed styles, and then we can get property value dash dash category, and we get dogs. Make it bigger. Otherwise, you can go to styles, computed, and then search for dash dash category, and you see dogs for this one, and then cat for this one. So we now have this custom property that we can use, and we can also use it in if conditions. So I will comment this out, and I'll make another if condition. I'm gonna make a background dash color if, and then we're gonna use the style function, which is currently only limited to custom properties. So you cannot say if the width is 200 pixels, that would not work. You have to have a custom property. I don't know if that's gonna change in the future. Again, this is really all very new. And even the example I'm showing you today is not like a best practice example because it's kind of overcomplicating the code. It's something very new, so we're gonna be developing these best practices as we start using it more. It just unlocks a lot of use cases where you can start writing less code to make things much easier, especially with the media queries. Okay, back to this code. If the style of the category has the value of cats, then the value will be, for example, red. And then you can add another condition. So again, this was condition 1, value 1. And now we can have condition 2, category dogs, and then it's going to be blue, and then else will be green. It just looks a bit ugly without syntax highlighting, but yeah, it's way shorter than having to do media queries, for example, especially with the example of the media function. Now we get the cat is red, dog is blue, and if we add a rabbit, or actually just something else, and we don't add a category, then we get green. So yeah, it's really very cool. And you can also use it with the support functions. So you can write, for example, like a color, and then if support, and then you can add the name of the feature, for example, OKLCH, which is I think for colors. But yeah, I'm gonna skip this example. So yeah, it's a very cool feature. I think it unlocks a lot of use cases, and maybe in the future I'll show you a video where it really solves a very specific issue where you can write way less code. It's not something you want to use all over the place, and you probably also want to wait before using it because it doesn't work on all browsers. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!